Welcome to the Wealthy in Pajamas podcast. I'm your host, Sonia Highfield, bringing you soul guidance and business strategy so that you can find your version of wealth and well-being while doing your purpose work in the world. I'm so excited to kick off this new season while we're doing these really cool new episodes of bringing small business owners on to not only share about their creative work, but to experience soul sessions. So you can get an actual example of what this soul work is that I'm bringing to clients and why it's so powerful and why it might be helpful to you. So I have another video where I go deeper into what the Akashic records are, but I like to describe it as the documentary of your soul. And so your soul guides are bringing through insights and guidance and healing, and it's all about possibilities, not predictions, and giving you the most relevant and aligned options for your pathway forward, as well as bringing understanding and acceptance and healing for who you are, who you want to be, things from past lives that are impacting you, and really how to create the life that you want, be the person that you want to be, and do the work that you want to do. So these sessions are real small business owners coming on, having an experience, and while it is deeply personal, we cover all kinds of things from marketing and social media to money and mindset and relationships and past lives. And so I really hope that you will walk away with some wisdom and insight and inspiration for yourself. And if you appreciate this work, please like, subscribe, comment, and connect so that we can get soul work to more people and spread this beautiful healing that is so potent and available to us all. So enjoy these and please share them out, and I'll see you on the other side. Welcome to this episode of Wealthy in Pajamas. I am excited to do another soul session with an awesome small business owner. And today I have Lara Zelman. And Lara, thank you so much for being here. Will you tell the people about yourself and your work?
Sure. Thanks for being here. I'm excited to chat with you this morning. My business is Lara Zelman Marketing, and my purpose with my business is really to help small business owners build and nurture relationships with their customers. And so that looks like a lot of different things with marketing. It could be event marketing, email communications, overall marketing strategy. But it's really, for me, the most important piece is relationship building. And so what I love to do is work with most often women business owners, small business owners, or entrepreneurs who are building and growing their brands, and they need someone to come in and support them and help them and take them to the next level, sort of like their marketing partner, who doesn't work in-house for them, but is right alongside them, supporting them. I have a special interest in food businesses. I, for a long time, wrote a food blog. I have a master's in food studies, and so I love the way people the business and marketing of food. How do people make decisions on what they consume? So that translates to food businesses, but also businesses like artists or coaches who are providing information, anything that people are going to consume your product or your knowledge or your expertise, and how can I help those businesses show up in the best way possible? So it's a lot of fun. Really love
so cool.
Working with a lot of different types of business owners and businesses.
Yeah, okay, that's such a cool slant to it. And I don't know if you knew this, but I used to be a food photographer.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Nice.
So yeah, we could have maybe previously had some overlap, but that's super cool. Yeah, I love also everything having to do with food and that kind of approach of I think because of social media these days, we do kind of feel like we are being consumed and we're creating content that people are binging,
Yeah.
right? So that is such an interesting way to think about it and help people be aware of not only what they're putting out there, right? But also probably what they're taking in and what they're really wanting to feed people, right?
Well, it's true, and I talk about this a lot with marketing and communications and you probably see this a lot too, is you can put out messaging, you can put out information, you can talk about things in a certain way. It almost doesn't matter because what matters is how people receive and can and interpret your information.
Yeah.
You know, because everyone communicates in such different styles and different ways that you could explain something. It's like if you have kids, I have small kids, just because you say it doesn't mean they hear you. And there's that difference between those two things. And that comes into play with sort of the marketing and the messaging and everything out there too.
Yeah, totally, totally. And with your kids, you're like, okay, I know you heard me, but you're still ignoring me. Let me try
Exactly.
again.
Yep.
I understand that. Okay, beautiful. And then the question that I love to ask all my guests is, what does wealth mean to you?
Yeah, when you sent me the information with that question, it kind of made me laugh because my word of the year last year was profitable. But for me, what that meant was like profitable in my family, in my relationships, in my business, and sort of overall profitable. Not just how much money can I make in my business, but really like, so wealthy is like I'm helping myself, I'm helping my family, I'm helping people, I'm happy. And that sort of all encompassing, I think. That's what came to
Yeah,
mind with that question.
beautiful. Yeah. And I love to tell people, if you've tuned in before, you've heard me say this 1,000 times, but that the original definition of wealth is the condition of well-being. And so that is so important to me as I'm helping people who are showing up wanting to make money and make more money, but doing it with intention and impact and not burning out and prioritizing themselves. And right. So, like, yeah, that's perfect. For me, it's always like, how can you take care of you? And also, we need to make money. Like, we have bills to pay, and money helps us be comfortable and, get access to healthcare in this country. And like, it's really helpful to have. So yeah, you can don't totally have like an abundance in internally and externally.
It is true because, that's why many of us started our own businesses, right? We want to be in control of what we're doing and we want to have the lifestyle that we want to have. And as my kids remind me often, they're only a few years away from college. So
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
to support that too.
Yes. I'm hoping by the time my daughter makes it to college, they'll all be free, but I've got
I
about
said that. So my
16
son
years.
is, yeah, he's just turned 14. I was like, I think, I kept saying, like, when you go to college, it's going to be different. I don't think we're there
Yeah.
yet. It's going to be
Yeah.
there.
Unfortunately. Okay. So today we're going to do an Akashic Records reading. And what I will do, as I do with all my sessions, is I use the Pathway Prayer by Linda Howe to open up your records. And if you join me in a one-to-one session or group session, I use this same method. There are other methods. This is the one that happens to resonate with me. And yeah, so we'll open up your records and then begin our conversation. And I will invite you to just chill out for a minute, focus on your own energy. I like to invite people, if it feels good, picturing yourself in a pillar of white light. And I'm going to say part of this out loud and part of it silently, and then I'll say the records are now open and we will begin our conversation. Okay, so we do acknowledge the forces of light, asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth as it is revealed for our highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to us. Help me to know Lara in the light of the Akashic Records, to see Lara through the eyes of the Lords of the Records, and enable me to share the wisdom and compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved ones of Lara have for her. Okay. The records are now open, and I'm just going to keep my eyes closed at first to help me focus, but you can begin whenever and wherever you feel comfortable.
Sure. One of the questions I've had is going into my fourth year in business, and I'm continually trying to decide, where do I spend my energies? I've loved teaching and doing workshops, but also, I enjoy the hands-on work with individual clients. And so, sort of going into this new year, I'm thinking about, what do I love to do the most? And also in the conversation of wealth, what's going to enhance my wealth? So that's sort of one of the first questions I've been thinking about.
Okay. First thing that's actually coming through, I'm feeling it very strongly on the right side, um, is doing, and I don't know if this is already like actually part of how you're doing things, but doing more like consulting
Mm-hmm.
based offers rather than so much like let's talk about the plan, let me lay out the plan, let me help you execute the plan. It feels like there's actually an opportunity to do more consulting. So that's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the other thing that's coming in feels like um, they may still be small, like technically small businesses, but it feels like also connecting with working with some bigger small businesses, like feels like some more like established brands or brands that maybe it's like they have multiple like physical locations. Um, Maybe it's stretching a little beyond just the small business. Maybe it's going slightly over that. But it feels like kind of bigger organization, bigger corporation um, that would still be in alignment with like who you want to support, the kinds of brands that you like to work with, um, the kinds of people that would like really appreciate your knowledge and like benefit from the help. It feels almost like the small business owner that's like scaling up and maybe expanding in more ways than they expect. And um, it's one of those things where they're like, all right, we've kind of been DIYing it, like we've kind of been like piecing it together, but now there's really that knowledge that like on the back end of their business, they need to get organized, like they need systems, they need tools, they need to outsource. Um, and whether that's people that it feels like there's also some networking opportunities, like networking events where you may come into contact with these people more. It feels a little bit more um, like Chamber of Commerce kind of thing, like a little bit more corporate-y. Um, but yeah, it feels like there's small business owners who are actually kind of like scaling up and they're in need of something that you can really offer, and it feels like more I don't know what length of time you usually work with people, probably a longer term thing based on what you're doing, but it does feel like okay, we're going to sign like a year long contract. It feels like a longer term or a 2-year contract. It feels like a longer term thing at kind of like a higher level. And it might not be again that you're necessarily like executing all of these things, but it might be a matter of kind of combining like consulting and um, consulting and like creating the plan. And then maybe they do have like a social media person that you're like working with, or someone that's like setting up the emails that like you're kind of collaborating with, or like kind of passing things along to. It kind of feels like that setup.
Yeah. It's some of those thoughts I've had before is like I could be your marketing fractional marketing person,
Hmm.
and fit
Yeah.
in that space.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, like as just a reminder, like the records are all about possibilities, right? So
Hmm.
what comes in is like what feels relevant and aligned now. And then, of
Hmm.
course, you have free will. Um, but yeah, it does feel like there's a little bit of, I would say, like I mentioned that the other one, the first bit was kind of like coming from the right side. Um, and right generally relates to like the masculine side.
Okay.
And consulting feels a little bit more in the masculine energy, where it's kind of like I come in, I tell you what you need, and you do this. And that might be a little bit more for the smaller businesses, actually, where it's a little bit more, here's what I think you should do. You choose how you do it. You choose what to take with you. It's a little bit more like quick and not so involved, more like I have the bigger like view of things, like landscape view of the landscape, the market space.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, here's what's working, here's what I would recommend. Now you take it and like go off and running or figure out like how you want to handle that. And that is, I think a lot of times we can feel like consulting is like super expensive, but actually it could be one of those things that helps a lot of small business owners because it's not an uber expensive offer for you, because it's more kind of like quick and not involved. And then it feels like the other side of things feels that's just kind of how it came through, one
Yeah.
right side and one left side, is like the like bigger, more established brands, longer term, a little bit more uh, slow on one hand, in that it's a longer extension of like your energy, your effort, your, kind of like wisdom being applied.
But it's more, yeah, it sounds a little bit more like that ongoing relationship or that support
Yeah.
and like bigger, longer term relationship and support there.
Yeah.
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 hmm
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
else?
What else do I want to know? Um, it's the possibilities are endless, right?
Yes.
Almost in terms of the questions, like, and I've never done this before, and so part of my curiosity, is to experience it one on one, because many people would talk to me like, okay, so what person? I went to business school, so here's the thing, what is it? And so this is a little bit outside of my normal,
Yeah.
comfort zone. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's really interesting to hear a lot of the things that, obviously I've sort of been thinking about
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. I think that's how a lot of people feel. Is it's very affirming of those things that have kind of been
hmm
intuitively nudging at you. Um, but also, again, like, there are so many possibilities for how we can create our success. And so it always is important to like listen to yourself first and foremost
Sure.
and see kind of like where does your energy want to go. Um, but yeah, in terms of like getting information from the records, it is one of those things. I think a lot of times people be like, "Are you in there like every day asking questions?" I'm like, "No, because that's a little bit too much."
hmm
But yeah, the possibilities are endless. Sometimes people will just ask like, "What do I need to know right now?"
Yeah. And I think that is one of the questions, moving into a new year and sort of having reflected on last year and thinking about where I'm going what are the things I should be looking out for? Are there, um, what's happening? you
Yeah.
know? What's going on in there? And I guess that would be a question that I'd like to ask. Are there things that I like should really know right now, or things that I should be, just take into consideration as I'm thinking through, approaching this new year.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Funny. The first thing that's coming in is veggies.
That's
So
very funny.
I'm gonna let you interpret that as you need to. um, let's see what else.
I did meet with a nutritionist recently, so
Okay.
that ties in.
Yep. Okay. Perfect. Okay. There's also something about looking ahead to an event or events that are happening like August, September timeline.
Hmm.
Yeah, it feels like attending, but also possibly like being involved with some events. If there's like a local business conference, women's conference, something like that, feels like if you know people that are putting that on, or that maybe you've attended previously where you're like, oh, maybe I could be a speaker, maybe I could like help organize if you have an interest in that. That's something to put on your radar. And then the other thing is like this summer, I'm seeing like a lot of like time with your kids at the pool, like outside, like rest relaxation time. But there's something also about like what can you kind of put on autopilot or have um, have ready to go, something that's like making you money while you're able to just like enjoy the summer. It feels like there's something um, I don't think it doesn't feel so much like passive income, but it's maybe
Mm.
like having things scheduled ahead of time or like having very specific um, having like a very specific day in your calendar of like this is the day that I like do my calls so that I can kind of
Mm.
like take the rest of the week easier. Like I'm booking, like I'm booking a VIP day, like 2 per month for the summer, and I have those scheduled, they're set, and they kind of like buoy my income while I also like take it a little bit more leisurely that season. Okay, there's a cool thing. Yeah, like expanding along those lines of setting people up ahead of time. Okay, so it's like the fall gets really busy for people, right? And we go into holidays and it's like all the marketing stuff that goes on with
Yep.
that. And people are like, not necessarily that prepared, but some people are preparing about it. But actually, it's almost like talking about it in the springtime to book people for some kind of like a package during the summer where it's like a 2 hour, a 4 hour intensive, like a VIP day, something where it's like a concentrated amount of time where you help them make their plan for the fall so that they actually can walk into, crazy season of like school, holidays, all that, and be like, I'm actually ready to go. I know what I'm selling. I know what I'm doing for my marketing. I have materials ready to go. And like catering to those businesses who do need that, but maybe are in that headspace of like, last year was chaos. I know I need to do it better. I don't exactly know like what is the solution for it, right? And so
Yeah.
offering something that's really like concise, we bang it out. Maybe it's like almost a nice in-person option as well, and feels like a good kind of like bookmarker for the summer where it's like you get these really nice kind of concentrated um, like sessions with people, but it's not every day, right? It's more like
Hmm.
a more like limited thing, but planned and booked ahead of time. And so also for you, like marketed ahead of time, right? So it might seem
Yeah.
like almost silly to like be talking about it in like April, but actually, um, that would be super effective to like get people in, give them a special price, and have it set for yourself as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll allow for more beach time for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
And
That
I
sounds
mean,
good.
then that is something that, I definitely I've struggled in the past with is like balancing that time with the kids for the summer, just time off, vacation time with keeping
Mhm.
the work going in a manageable way or, manageable for what I want it to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Totally.
Hmm.
Yeah, that feels like a good way to balance. And also, it's also something that, in terms of like pricing and structure and stuff, it's like you could offer people, um, like if they pay in full, like some kind of special, or just offer a payment plan so that people
Mm.
are already right. Because if they're like, it's in the
Yeah.
spring, but I'm not doing it till July, but you're like, jump on a payment plan. And then you
Yeah.
really are able to access this like great quantity of help that's going to help you, but it's done in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming because it does feel like it should be, it should be a higher price point, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be up there. It should be up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been doing like kind of VIP sessions like that, or like?
I haven't done like a VIP day. I do I call it a marketing power hour, which is what it sounds. It's an hour. It's a shorter sort of one topic um meeting, and then you get
Mhm.
an action plan out of that particular topic, and that's meant
Yeah.
as a way to get people in so that they decide I actually don't want to do this myself. I could use some support. And
Yeah.
I did try at the end of this past year doing a reserve your hour now and book it anytime in 2026 as a
Mm.
way to try to generate that before the end of the year. So this kind of it expands on that, but it's a you know it makes sense with sort of what I'm doing in the business where it concentrates it, but then it sort of ups the price
Yeah.
for the experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, does it feel like there's anything else that you want to touch on?
Um, I'm trying to think. I mean, how can I travel more? Where can I did actually
Yeah.
added a lot of, I love to travel. I added some in last year with friends. And so that's something we're always trying to, that goes along with making money in the business too. It's like, how do
Yeah.
I, you know, find these ways in the business to support that along with the income in the family and to support the things we want to do and make it possible for
Yeah.
us to do what we want to do.
Totally. Yeah. Do you have any trips planned? Do you have like a beach house to go to or
We
something?
go to the beach every summer with friends.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's booked, but that's
Okay.
really our like the only thing on the calendar right now.
Uh-huh. I see.
Yeah.
Um, okay, the other thing that comes through around travel is like planning some day trips.
Hmm.
Doing like, okay, we're gonna go hike this mountain in New Hampshire, which like we can get to in, an hour and a half or whatever. Doing some more of those things of like, let's just go explore this new town. So that you feel like you're getting out of town and
Mm-hmm.
getting somewhere new, right? And it doesn't have to be so extensive, or it's like, okay, this, let's go to this cabin for like a weekend or like 2 days or something, and just allowing yourself to almost have like mini travel adventure experiences. Um, and then it feels like actually in like towards the maybe like December time feels like having a trip around then would feel good. Something that's like a little bit more of like a formal vacation. Um, yeah, I don't know if your family like skis or something like that, but I kind of see like a magical snow village somewhere.
It's probably a hockey rink. I have two hockey players.
Okay. All right. Um, yeah, it feels like there's something around that time of year that would actually work out for like a fuller like family
Mm-hmm.
vacation. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, does that feel complete for you for today?
I think so. Yeah, it's like I said, it's just totally new to me beyond, going to your workshop, the group workshop in the past. And so there like I said, it seems like a lot of things that were sort of rattling around in my brain. Um and it's nice to, hear that it's aligned in that way. And then also, some additional ideas of how I might balance sort of the need for making money with the also the desire to, to spend time with my family and have a sort of well-rounded life.
Yeah. Yeah. Get off the computer and do the other
Yep,
things that we're
exactly.
that we're actually here to do. Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and remind everyone where they can find you and connect with you.
Sure. So it's Lara Zelman Marketing, and you can find me most often on Instagram, and it is just at my name, Lara, Lara dot Zelman. That's my handle there. If you search for Lara Zelman Marketing, that's probably the easiest place. And I post about food and marketing and interesting things happening in the area and other great small businesses.
Awesome. Okay, beautiful. And we'll mention that you're in Massachusetts because,
Yes.
yes, local to me. But yeah, everyone go check Lara out. And thank you for tuning in. I hope that you got some bit of inspiration or insight or wisdom from this session. And do all the things like subscribe, comment, let us know if anything here resonated for you, and connect if you'd like to have your own soul session. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.